Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I don't know what it is, but I look particularly pale today, and I mean, I'm not a bronze goddess obviously, but today I look ill and pale, which I'm actually neither of the things. I'm not ill. I look like I'm a ghost. Anyway, bear with me. I hope it will not distract you particularly. So today I wanted to talk to you about wearable kind of entry level spicy fragrances. And you see, I don't really like spicy fragrances because they overwhelm me. Many spicy fragrances, they tend to kind of wear me as opposed to me wearing the fragrance, and I don't really like it. And when it's a lot of spices, I find these fragrances quite difficult for me to wear, and they are suffocating and they are overwhelming, that I don't particularly like. And also, because I love my fragrances and I love to wear them every single day of the year, I don't really have to wait for a particular weather. Yeah, I do have some fragrances, but just a couple of them, that they feel and they smell nicer in a particular weather. But the majority, the bulk of my collection are the fragrances that are passepartout, and they're day-to-day fragrances that I can wear whenever I want to wear them. So that's why I'm talking to you about the fragrances, super nice and wearable fragrances. And I have 7 fragrances here. They are different in terms of prices, in terms of they are sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. They are different in terms of price, and they can be niche and a designer fragrances. So I'm gonna be just letting you know what is an exact spice in this fragrance. And I obviously do have other fragrances that are spicy, like for instance I have a Myrrh and Tonka. They have myrrh, or I have some fragrances that are with black pepper, but it's just one note, and it just doesn't worth it mentioning here, because here I have fragrances that have multiple spicy notes. Let's start with the one and only and a beautiful fragrance, Allure Sensuelle by Chanel. So we do have here pink pepper, which is a spice, and we also have just note that is spices. So they don't really specify which spices we have, but we have this classic Chanel. We have the classic Chanel that opens up with freshness, it opens up with bergamot, and then it goes into rose and signature patchouli, and also it's quite spicy, but it's not warm. None of these fragrances is ever warm, and for me the warmness of the spices is the thing that I don't really like. I like this cooler spices. So this is a fantastic fragrance. You have this signature Chanel vibe, you have this signature Chanel fragrance, but you also have this kind of spices, and it's a very classy fragrance. It's a very beautiful fragrance, but it's also very nice for like a day-to-day wear, no problem here. So the next one is the fragrance that I don't really wear too much. For me, this is kind of an autumnal fragrance, you know, in my head, because I kind of classify it like that, and I don't know why, but I particularly like it when it's raining. So this is the fragrance by L'Artisan Parfumeur, and this is Mont de Narcisse. So we do have several spices here. We have pepper, cardamom, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Pepper and cardamom. And this is yet again, this is kind of greener, spicy fragrance with a little bit of this herbal vibe. And I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the nature that is preparing to enter the autumnal season, but not at the end of August when it's still warm and or even hot, but as opposed to it like September, end of September, the beginning of October, when it's starting to rain, when it's starting to be like gloomy and a bit dark and a bit gray. So this is the fragrance, this kind of a bit like moody moody and darker mood to the fragrance, but it is beautiful. It is beautiful, and it also has a kind of the nose that you don't really find often. It has immortelle and it has birch, so and again it's very green, so it's airy and it's fresh. Next one. Next one is the fragrance that I actually own it in a very small bottle because I just don't really need a bigger bottle. This is Halfeti, and this is Penhaligon's Halfeti, and this is a classic one because you might not know, or maybe you know, but Halfeti isn't just Halfeti. They do have different types of Halfeti, so this is the classic one. It has saffron and cardamom and nutmeg, and yeah, tonka bean is a spice, but I don't know, it's not that kind of, but even though it's not that kind of spice, sometimes tonka bean can be a bit spicy. The most of the times it's sweet, but sometimes it can be quite spicy. Anyway, this is a fragrance that I use really rarely, but for some reason, yet again, this fragrance for me is when it is a rainy weather. But it doesn't necessarily have to be autumn. It can be spring. So it's like, it's a very fresh. It's almost like it feels like almost an icicle, kind of colder spices, and it's very masculine, I have to say. But I enjoy this kind of fragrance, especially if I'm wearing something like a leather jacket or something. I do think that it's a marvelous scent. It's not my vibe completely, but sometimes, occasionally, I like it, and yeah, I enjoy this fragrance. I don't really think that I'm gonna be having a not like a bigger bottle, because I actually do have another one which is 5 ml as well, so I'm good like that. But this is a spectacular fragrance, spectacular, very nice fragrance. Well, it does have a lot of other notes. It has cypress leaf, it has artemisia, it has a leather, it has agar wood, so oud, vanilla, and amber. So it's a very rich fragrance, yet it's Fresh. Next fragrance is a fragrance that is very famous, actually. I bet you know about this fragrance, and this is the fragrance. This is, I believe it was second fragrance that I've bought of this brand. So this is the Pomegranate Noir from Malone, and mine is quite old. As you can see, the bottle is quite like the label is a bit torn. So this is beautiful. Yes, the fragrances from this brand, they don't particularly last on my skin, but this, for some reason, it has decent lasting power, like if we compare it to other fragrances from this brand, obviously. So this has clove, pink pepper, olibanum, opoponax, and this is actually a fresh and spicy fragrance because it has a very beautiful fruity opening. So we have pomegranate, rhubarb, plum, raspberry, and watermelon, and then we have some flowers, and we have some amber. So this is, if you are not ready for this kind of very spicy vibe that hits you in your face, just like this fragrance, it does hit you in your face. It is fresh, but it still hits you with the spiciness. This one, it kind of prepares you with these fruity openings and this flower beddings, and then it just gives you spices. But these spices, they are never overwhelming, because come on, it's Jo Malone, and they're like kind of transparent spices, which I really appreciate, and it's a very good fragrance. So next one is a fragrance that it was a blind buy, and I was very skeptical, because this is, for me personally, this is a hit and a miss fragrance brand. I do love some lines of this brand, and some I'm just not a big fan. But this one, surprisingly, it was a good fragrance for me, a good match for me. So this is the Merchant of Venice, and this is a Noble Potion. I do have here cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's a very fruity opening, but it is never light. I mean, you can smell this kind of not very like, if I say the fruits are not fresh, you might think about the fruits that are that gone bad. No, it's not about that. These are not transparent fruits. It's just a very heavy fruity scent, and then we have this quite light spices as opposed to this quite heavy and heady opening. And then um, we have some vanilla, and we have some notes of wood, like we have sandalwood and cedar, and we have also some musk. So for me, this is a sweet, fruity, a bit spicy, and woody fragrance. So beautiful, beautiful. As I've told you, it was a blind buy, and I was hesitating. It was they had sales on the website. I do believe it was couple of years ago. It was during the Black Friday, the Black Friday sales, and I was like, oh, should I not get it? Because I mean, I haven't tried it before. But yeah, I'm actually happy. And you know, they do have nectarine here, and they do have violet, and this nectarine and violet together, they have this note that actually reminds me of Trésor by Lancôme, the classic one. So yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful, very feminine fragrance, spicy but not overly spicy. So the next one is a fragrance by is this one. So this is a fragrance by Le Couvent. They had changed the bottles. Now they have this beautiful, quite heavy black bottles, and this is Smyrna. And this also was a blind buy, and I was actually astonished by how much I like this fragrance, because I mean, if you read in the notes are I'm gonna read all the notes from this fragrance. They have Turkish rose, they have black pepper, woody notes, vetiver, cardamom, and citruses. So we have black pepper and cardamom as spices, but also this rose that I was like, should I or should I not, because it's a Turkish rose, so it might be a bit heavy, but then you have citrus to kind of to balance it out. So should I not? And I got this fragrance, and I'm happy with it, because it's a very approachable rose fragrance and approachable spicy fragrance. And yeah, I like this one. And it also have this kind of very particular green note that makes this fragrance very light. I mean, it's not a light fragrance, but considering all the notes that are here, it's very easy to wear this fragrance. And I like it. I like this fragrance a lot. And yeah, the next fragrance is a fragrance by, oh, it's the last fragrance actually, by Dior, and this is Dior Privé, and this is, in my opinion, is the most spicy fragrance of the fragrances that I own. And it has the spices like ginger, pink pepper, cinnamon, black pepper, cloves, nutmeg, coriander, and bay leaf. So I actually read out every single almost every single note in the pyramid. I didn't read out the room. It has some rum, or like rum, and it also has woodsy notes. So basically, it's an infusion of spices, and This is quite spicy, but yet again, maybe because of the ginger, maybe because of the coriander and nutmeg, because they do have this kind of fresher quality to them, maybe because of the peppers, but this is by no means a fragrance that is suffocating. I mean, it is spicy and you can feel that it's spicy, but it's not warm, at least not for me, because when it's warm and spicy, it's very difficult for me to wear this fragrance. But it's not warm, it's just spicy, and it some can argue that this is a masculine scent, and I tend to agree. But sometimes, at times, just like this one, just like Halfeti, I have these occasions when I would love to wear something spicy, and this is an excellent fragrance for that. Yeah, these are my spicy fragrances, and I do enjoy spicy fragrances from time to time, but I do want them to be easier to wear. I do want them to be approachable. I never want them to be warm spicy, or like spicy fragrances like we kind of we smell around Christmas time. This is kind of a spicy fragrance that I don't gravitate towards, because for me it's difficult to wear them. But yeah, but these ones, I like them, I wear them occasionally. And please let me know, what are your favorite spicy fragrances? Do you have any? Do you actually love spices? Do you like spices in fragrances? And yeah, thank you for your attention, and I will see you next Wednesday. And I thank you for your time, and yeah, have a nice Sunday. Bye.